Hello, and welcome to the Folklore and Fiction Podcast. My name is Kelly MacCath-Moran. I'm a PhD candidate in the Folklore Department at Memorial University of Newfoundland, and I'm also a speculative fiction writer under the pseudonym C.S. MacCath. The Folklore and Fiction Podcast and Dispatch synthesize these passions with a focus on folklore scholarship aimed at storytellers. You'll find the Folklore and Fiction archive along with the rest of my work online at folkloreandfiction.com. Interested listeners will find a link to the current dispatch in the show notes, where a more comprehensive record of this episode can be found, including a bibliography and other references. In this episode, I'll be exploring ATU 1096, Sewing Contest. Let's begin with a British poem of the tale type that pits a humble tailor against the devil himself. The Devil and the Tailor. There was a tailor in our town, who was a worthy wight. All through the day he worked away, and halfway through the night. He had a wife whom he did love, and he had children bright. To find the meat for them to eat did puzzle the tailor quite. One day as on the board he sat, when cupboard and shelf were bare, the children cried, unsatisfied with feeding on the air. Oh, then unto himself he said, Ah, that I were rich, with meat galore and money in store, and never a coat to stitch. If old Nick now to me would say, In riches you may roll, I'm sure I'd sell to the Lord of Hell myself, both body and soul. The devil unto the tailor came, and thus to him said he, This bag of gold is wealth untold, and empty ne'er shall be. Exhaustless is its boundless store, and it shall all be thine, whilst thou hast breath, but at thy death thy soul shall then be mine. Nay, put the matter as a bet, thy bag against my soul. We each will take a coat to make, the quickest to take the whole. Old Nick to this at once agreed, and thought the tailor to wheedle. My sight is bad, so I'll be glad if you will thread my needle. A needleful I'll put you in, the tailor said with pleasure. Sound and true to last all through the job we are to measure. A needleful he put him in, the tailor did with pleasure. Sound and true to last all through 100 yards by measure. To work, the two did settle then, the tailor worked in dread. The devil flew the room all through, with his 100 yards of thread. But though the devil beat his wings, and panted fit to burst, with shorter thread and clearer head, the tailor finished first. Thus was the devil overcome, and fairly left in the lurch. The tailor white became a knight, and always went to church. He patronized charities, and never joined a revel. To end my song, I think it wrong to swindle e'en the devil. ATU 1096, Sewing Contest, is a tale of the stupid ogre, giant, or devil under the subcategory Contest between Man and Ogre, and the ATU Index summarizes it this way, quote, Sewing Contest. Previously, the tailor and the ogre in a sewing contest. The devil, ogre, giant, and a tailor, shoemaker, gypsy, woman, have a sewing contest. The devil sews with a very long thread. Making his first stitch, he has to run around the house, jump out the window. When he returns, the tailor has already finished his task and wins the contest. K47. This episode of the Folklore and Fiction Podcast is a preview, and you can listen to the full episode on the Folklore and Fiction website. Just click on the dispatch link in the show notes or go to folkloreandfiction.com and sign up for a free account. Thanks very much for your interest. Copyright 2019 to 2023. Kelly S. MacCath-Moran. All rights reserved unless Creative Commons licensing is specifically applied.